couple of really cool cutscenes, very unique trailers, and two very good trucks. These are some of the things that was released in Season 15 of SnowRunner, Oil and Dirt. But first, let's talk about the region and the missions. Well, in this region we have two maps. This region is a bit harder than previous regions. It's somewhere between Kola Peninsula and Amur. So in this region you see things like icy roads and breakable ice a lot, and you have to go through some really deep snow sometimes. But it's not always like that, because there is a very nice highway across the two maps that helps you a lot when you wanna get from one side to the other side of the map. Although it's not really like that all the time. This is the first thing that I really did not like about this season. It might be the only thing I didn't like about Season 15. The beginning of this region, the first 20% is extremely boring. So at first, you start with your normal scouting. In this region, you have to get to the next map, the second map, since the very beginning. I think this was the first region where I scouted both maps at the very beginning of my run. But that was actually very nice. Once you scout both maps, you see there are many broken bridges and blocked roads. And with some of these, there is nothing wrong with that. A big part of this region is about fixing the highway. So if you can't really use the highway at the beginning, it's fine. It's part of the region. Now, there are other small routes and roads around the map that are blocked too, and there are many parts of the map that are not connected to each other, and you have to build a bridge for that. So at first, anything you want to do, any task or contract you want to complete, it takes such a long time, because pretty much every single road is blocked or every single bridge is broken. At this point, you start to fix all those bridges and roads. But some of those tasks and contracts, they do not feel rewarding at all. And not just that, some of the things you do just after two contracts become completely useless. Let me say it this way. You want to build part of this broken highway. So you want to do mission A. For doing mission A, you realize you can't really do it right now. You have to go and complete mission B. For doing mission B, you realize you can't really do it either. You have to go and complete mission C. So you complete the mission C, you go and complete mission B, then you are free to complete mission A. Once you complete that mission A, once you build that bridge, the roads or bridges you built by completing mission B and C become completely useless, because you're not going to use them ever again. The bridge you built by completing mission A is all you needed. So everything you did for mission B and C is just useless. And once you complete a couple of contracts or tasks like this, you're like, why am I even doing these? So was it really necessary to add these many roadblocks and broken bridges and things like that? Because so many of them are at some locations that you're not going to use them ever again after you build that main highway. But once you complete the first 20% of this region, things get really good. Some of the missions are very great. The cutscenes are really good. Like pretty much so many other regions, there are some contracts that require you to deliver a lot of cargo, which, is something. But other than that, the rest of the missions are very fun. And this region is absolutely stunning. It's one of the most beautiful regions in the game. The environment in this region is fantastic. In regions like Kola Peninsula or Amur, you don't really see many things. It's just ice and snow. In this region, you have festivals, you have snowmans, you have really great towns, you have really good looking shipyards and factories. The environment in this region is fantastic, seriously. the areas they created in this region is fantastic. Like, it's very good, it's very good looking, and it really feels good driving through these areas. And as I've mentioned, you see some really cool cutscenes in this region too. Some of the most unique cutscenes in the game. And I think this is the first region where you enter a building to attach a trailer to your truck and deliver it. And now, how difficult is this region? I would say it's kind of difficult, but there is one big difference between this region and some of the other difficult regions in this game. This region, at first, is extremely difficult. The more you play it, the more you complete those contracts, it gets easier and easier and easier. But it doesn't get so easy that you forget it's a difficult region. And that was a very fantastic thing they did with this region. And fuel is not that big of a problem in this region either. The fuel stations in both maps are located at such a good place, and there are plenty of scout fuel carriers around the map. So fuel is not that big of a problem in this region too. Now, something else I want to mention is this region was released at such a great time. Because in the previous seasons, we got some of the really good trucks and we really didn't have the region to test them to see how well they can perform in a very difficult region. And now with season 15, we could do that. And it was really good testing trucks like Kenworth 963, Azovatem Plat 450 or Fem 3780 in a difficult region. And the Earth Roamer trucks are great for scouting. They are really amazing for scouting. I wish we had them since the beginning of the game. So even though this season was difficult, we had access to so many different tools, really good tools, to make this season a bit easier. And one last thing about this region, we got some kind of new things. We got some snowman and these new road barriers which are really nice and cool. And this type of bridge. I always love the fact that they add these new things to each region. It's one of the best things. I really love it. It doesn't have a very big impact, but I just really love these little things. Now, this region overall, I think the first 20% is very boring. I really don't like the first 20% of this region, but after that, this region is actually very, very good and fun. Now let's talk about the trucks released in this season. The first one is Slater ST816 Elephant. This is a very big, capable, heavy semi-truck, but I actually don't like it that much. It has some good advantages, like the roof rack and that crane, but the problem I have with this truck is it's really bad at going uphill. Like, I would say any truck like Bohr, Colab or Zik 605R would easily beat this truck going uphill. If you are just in mud or snow, the performance of this truck is phenomenal. It's very capable, but going uphill, it's just not good. You have to drive extremely slow. It just feels so bad going uphill with this truck. And you know, this is a truck designed for pulling heavy trailers, but it's really not good at it. So for the Elephant, I would say it's not a bad truck. You have access to so much fuel. The crane is really good, but it's not that good at pulling trailers. And sometimes when you are pulling trailers, the truck kind of goes into this wheelie situation and the front wheels are not touching the ground. So steering the truck gets harder and harder. Overall, I don't really like this truck, but that's just my opinion. But the other truck, the Mercer K520, fantastic truck. I love it. The Mercer K520 is kind of similar to Tega 6436. And it's as good as Tega 6436 or maybe even better. The performance of Mercer K520 in mud or snow is very good. You can use this truck either as a support vehicle You cannot have the crane and the bed at the same time on this truck, so it's better to go for a semi-trailer. In that case, you can have the saddle low and the crane on the truck. But keep in mind, if you want to go for the sideboard bed, the sideboard bed comes with 100 extra repair parts and 40 liters of fuel, and this truck has access to a roof rack too. Like Tega 6436, Mercer K520 is very nimble and has a very good turning radius too. So using it as a semi-truck is a great choice. And this truck is kind of fast, but the handling of Mercer K520 is good. So overall, I think Mercer K520, I really like it. I think it's one of the good trucks in a SnowRunner. And one last thing, the trailers. The two trailers we got in this season are very unique. These two flatbed trailers come with extra fuel and repair parts, which is very nice. The bigger one is a 6-slot trailer. The smaller one is a 3-slot trailer. The bigger one has access to 240 liters of fuel plus 550 repair parts. The smaller one has access to 120 liters of fuel plus 550 repair parts. These two trailers, I think they are very good and they are very unique. For the bigger trailer, you need a saddle high, and for the smaller trailer, you need a saddle low. Now, overall, what do I think about this season? I think this season is very good. We got some really cool things and useful things in this season. The only thing I don't like about this season is the first 20% of this region. The first 20% of this region is very boring, at least in my opinion, and you have to do so many tasks and contracts that are just pointless. And I felt like everything in the first 20% of this region was just very stretched. So except for the first 20%, everything was very good. The trucks, the trailers, the environment was really good. That's it for today's video. I see you in the next one.